नित्यानंद की श्रीमद् भगवद गीता सीरीज की जय।
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। नित्यानंद, नित्यानंदाराम। Can I start? Can I start? I can start now. नित्यानंदो वधुतेन्दुर वसुधा प्राणवल्लभा जानव जीवितापति कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदा प्रभु पद्मावती सुत श्रीमान सचिनंदन पूर्वजः भावना मतो जगत्राता रक्ता गौर कलेवरः. I'll say it slowly this time, so if you want to repeat you can after me. नित्यानंदो
नित्यानंदो
वधुतेन्दुर
वधुतेन्दुर
वसुधा प्राण
वसुधा प्राण
वल्लभा
वल्लभा
जानव
जानव
जीवितापति
जीवितापति
कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदा प्रभु पद्मावती सुत श्रीमान सचिनंदन पूर्वजः भावनोमत जगत्राता रक्तागौर कलेवरः. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजाथां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you very much everybody for coming for the most auspicious occasion of Shri Nityanand Triyodashi today. Thank you for passing out the Bhagavad Gita, but I won't be speaking from this today. We'll be talking on the glories of Lord Nityanand. But you can hold your books if you want. But thank you for the effort. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur explains that for us, followers of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, there are 2 days in the calendar, in the year, which are supremely auspicious, most holy. The appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, God Purnima, which we will be celebrating next month, and the appearance day of Lord Nityanand, which is today, Nityanand Triyodashi. So what I'll be speaking is primarily from class given by His Holiness Devamrit Swami and His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Our movement is based on loving Krishna. Bhakti is Krishna Prema. And you can't really love the person till you feel attracted. And to be attracted to anybody, you should be aware of the energies or the qualities. I have 3 young Vaishnavas in the big people class today, so I might go a little bit more into details and basics, but Paramhansas who are here, please bear with me. So I want to say welcome to Sai Vikesh and Janvi. So say Elvis Presley was to come here. How many of you want to take his autograph? It's not a trick question. You can answer. Nobody, because none of us grew up as his fans, right? But if Sachin Tendulkar comes here, again, not a trick question, how many of you would at least want a picture or some kind of an autograph? I'm being honest, I'll want a picture and I'll want an autograph. Okay, if Amitabh Bachchan comes, how many of you would want to do it? Thank you, Janak Prabhu. I was really hoping you'll raise your hand. Why do we want to have a picture with them? Because we are attracted. And why are we attracted to them? Because we are aware of certain special qualities or potencies that they have. Sachin Tendulkar is a supreme batsman, and Amitabh Bachchan is a supreme Bollywood star. So, there is something special about them that makes us like them. So if we want to love Krishna and his devotees and other acharyas, we should be aware of their specific qualities. That was the point I was trying to make. So if we want to love Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or love Lord Nityanand, we should be aware of the qualities that makes them extra special. What's so special about Nityanand Prabhu? So that takes us to the first part of this class. Who is Lord Nityanand? So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead came as Krishna, he expanded. His first expansion was Lord Balram. So Lord Balram is non-different than Krishna. He has all the 6 opulences in full. The only difference is he comes in the mood of a servitude. He comes in the mood of rendering service. So he expands as the spiritual dham. He expands as the shoes of the Lord. He expands as the clothes and the jewelries of the Lord. He expands as the bed of the Lord. Vishnu is laying down on Anantasesha. His only purpose is to please the Lord and serve the Lord. So much so that when Krishna wants to be with Srimati Radharani in Madhurya Bhav, it would be uncomfortable if the older brother is there. So he expands, Lord Balram expands as Ananga Manjari, who is the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, so that he can offer service in that mood also. He is the source of Narayan of Vaikuntha, who is being served by thousands of Lakshmis. Balram is the source of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is so Maha that there are universes coming out of the pores of his body when he is laying down, when he is sleeping practically. The only thing we can create while we are sleeping is a lot of audible noises called snoring. We're just trying to be very refined and polished. But practically the only thing we create while we are sleeping is snoring. And Balram is the source of that Mahavishnu. He is also the source of Shirodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Karanadakshay. As long as I'm breathing, I have to be with you. You are my life and soul. So he left with Lord Ram and Mother Sita, and throughout the 14 years, Lakshman did not sleep. During the day, he was serving them, and during the night, he was guarding them. He would walk ahead of them to clear the path, remove the thorns and the pebbles, so that the ground was nice and flat for Lord Ram and Mother Sita. And we should also focus on what their mood was. Lakshman had a very interesting personality. His love for Lord Ram was so great that even if he felt like a slightest threat, he was ready with his bow and arrow. He was in Chitraketu, he saw, Bharat and the army coming from Ayodhya. Immediately assumed that they are coming to attack on Ram, and he was ready to kill. And Lord Ram said, hold it, brother, hold it. Bharat is harmless, and he was like, all right. So that was his mood. Anybody who wouldn't pay respect to Lord Ram, he was ready to kill them. He was ready to kill Sugriva also. Till Sugriva, apologized and told Ramana that I'm going to fulfill the promise which I made. And Lord Balram, as the name tells, Bal means spiritual strength and Ram means happiness. So one who derives happiness or pleasure from exhibiting spiritual strength. So again, Lord Balram has a very interesting personality. On the altar, have you noticed what is Lord Balram holding? Anybody wants to?
Plow.
Plow, yeah. What do we use a plow for? Farming. So what does the farmer do? He plows the field and makes the soil soft. So that's what the original spiritual master or Lord Balram does. He plows our heart and makes it nice and soft for the Bhakti Lata beach to grow. He also holds the Hanuman has
Club.
it too. Club. He also holds the club. What do we do with the club? If there are boulders or obstacles on the path, what would we do with the club? We'll break them and move them aside. So that's also something that Lord Balram does. He removes obstacles or hardships on the path of bhakti. And he has that strength, for plowing and using a club, you need strength. And it's like, it's not that. You need strength, you need bal for those, for plowing as well as for using the club. You should see how strong the muscles of farmers are. If you can find one, these days it's hard to find somebody who does organic farming. Everything is machine based. So Lord Balram, in some way he is a no-nonsense personality. Kurus insulted Krishna. That made Lord Balram upset. He took his plow and dragged Hastinapur from the rest of the earth, and he was about to put Hastinapur in Ganges. And with everybody, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Dhritarashtra, Bhishma Pitama, everybody was in Hastinapur. He dragged it and he was ready to put it in Ganges. And then they apologized. And then he let them go. What did he do with Romaharshana Sutta? So he walked into the assembly where Romaharshana Sutta was sitting on the Vyasasana, reading scriptures. So Romaharshana Sutta was, he was elected by all the sages assembled there to speak the discourse. So Romaharshana Sutta was not breaking any regulative principle sitting there. He was speaking from scriptures, and nothing that he was speaking was wrong or inappropriate or not correct. But what was the problem? He had so much arrogance that he did not stand up when Lord Balram walked in. And because he had been elected by the sages, he was kind of leader for them. And this is what Lord Balram thought, that it is not appropriate for a spiritual leader to be arrogant. A spiritual leader should be humble. So, he did not use his plow, he did not use his club. What did he do? He picked up a blade of grass. Romaharshana, dead. So can you imagine what it does to an ego? You really are like those cardamom seeds which are put in the coffee grinder. We don't drink coffee, but we use the coffee grinder for grinding spices. You are like pulverized, like coriander seeds which go in that machine over and over again, so much so that when you open the jar, they just fly all around. That's what it would do to your ego if you get killed with a piece of grass. So again, that's Lord Balram. He killed Pralambasura, one blow knocked out. Vividha was hitting Lord Balram with trees, with rocks, with pebbles, boulders. Lord Balram gave him one blow dead. As I said, he's like a no-nonsense personality. So that Lord Balram and that Lord Lakshman, he comes in Kali Yuga as Nityanand Prabhu. So he's the same Balram, same Lakshman, but in a very, very different mode. So Lord Balram had the strength which he displayed through his club and plough, but Lord Nityanand, he displays that in his Mridanga. The same personality, but in a very different mode. So how his mood is different from that of Lakshman and Balram, as we proceed in the story, we'll learn that. Today's program is on Saturday, so everybody here is familiar. Nobody's coming here for the first time, so I might go a little deep in the, and if you have any questions, you can stop me. So when Chaitanya, the 13th day of the waxing moon of the month of Magh, this is by the Vedic calendar. I see my young Vaishnavas confused, what is she talking? So month of Magh, Magh, Jesh, Ashar, there is a Vedic calendar, and January, February, English months have a Vedic equivalent. So in this month of Magh, the 13th day of the waxing moon, Lord Nityanand appeared to Mother Padmavati and Hidai Pandit in Ekachakra. So there was a small village in West Bengal called Ekachakra, and there was a Brahman family staying there. Hidai Pandit and Mother Padmavati, Hidai Pandit's wife. And they're actually eternal parents of Lord Balram. So Vasudev and Rohini. Balram is Rohini Nandan. So Vasudev came as Hidai Pandit and Rohini came as Mother Padmavati. And they were trying for a child for a very long time. And then Lord Nityanand was born. And much before he was born, Brahmins and Pandits in Ekachakra would read scriptures, and they would say that scriptures are telling that in this place in Ekachakra, Lord Balram will appear. But they just didn't know, many generations, many years passed, and Lord Nityanand was born. But he did not display it to anybody, just so that there would be natural flow of parental affection. But this child was the life and soul of entire Ekachakra. Everybody, not just Hidai Pandit and Padmavati Devi, everybody loved this child more than they loved their own children. They loved him like their life and soul. Everybody in Ekachakra. And we see a cute child, we want to cuddle them, we want to do kuchipu on their cheeks. Oh, so cute, oh, so cute, oh, so cute. So imagine when the all-attractive Lord comes as a child, how sweet, how very special, and how cute that child must be. It's actually unimaginable, because we don't have that experience. But we can just get a glimpse by seeing how we play with our children here in the congregation. Hidai Pandit couldn't let go of, Nityanand couldn't move out of his sight for even few moments. If he would go to the fields to take care of his agricultural duties, he would take Nitai with him. And even the children in the village, they loved Nitai like anything. And their playtime was dramas and plays from the scriptures. So they would, enact the drama of Vaman Dev coming and Bali Maharaj promising 3 steps of land. Their playtime would be, enacting Leelas from Ramayan. And one time they were playing and Nitai became Lakshman. And he told a child that you throw the javelin at me. And it wasn't a real javelin. They pretended that a lotus flower was a javelin. You know what a javelin is? Javelin is like a long weapon with the sharp tip at the end. It's long and you kind of, throw it like this. So you might have seen javelin throws in Olympic events.
Sorry, Bhala in Hindi.
Yeah, Bhala in Hindi, but I'm not sure, these are like American kids we have here who will understand Bhala. So they had the guy who was playing Ravan's in the Ravan's side, he took the lotus flower and he threw the lotus at Nitai. And Nitai immediately dropped on the floor unconscious and he actually stopped breathing. Now we are smiling, because we know he came back to life and this is Lord, so he can't leave his body. But can you imagine the crisis that must have happened? All that happened was that a child took a lotus flower. Have you seen a lotus flower? How delicate it is? He threw at Nitai and Nitai drops on the floor unconscious and is not breathing. Entire village came. Mother Padmavati came, Hidai Pandit came, and they were so nervous. Here's the child everybody loves more than their life, and he is not breathing. So they were confused. They just didn't know what happened, and that child got really, kind of defensive. All I did was throw a lotus at him. I don't know what happened. And then one child suddenly recollected. Oh, Nitai had said that we have to go and get the Sanjeevani booty. So immediately the boy who was playing Hanuman, he got into action, and then he started, pretending to fly, basically running to get the miracle herb. I have kids here, so I have to explain what is the booty. Booty is a special miracle herb that has the potency to bring a person back to life who's almost nearing death-like situation. So there was, when this boy was playing Hanuman, he ran. He met an old Babaji, old person, and this again was, this is all this is like a drama that is being played by kids. So this old man said, "Oh, you must be tired. You should eat something, Hanuman." And Hanuman says, "No. I have seva to do. Lakshman has fainted. I have to take this with me." "Oh, you should drink some water. You should take bath in this water so that you feel nice and refreshed." And when Hanuman enters into water, that old man turns into a crocodile. And then Hanuman has to get onto his case. And then he has to, he picks up the Sanjeevani booty and he runs back to the site where Nitai, who was acting Lakshman, had fainted. Can you close that door? So then, they make him inhale and they use the treatment from using those special herbs and Nitai comes back to life. So this is again, one of Lord's pastimes where he wants us to feel really anxious about what's going to happen. I don't know if you all remember, you probably do. It was only like 6-7 months ago. A day before Rath Yatra, there was a forecast for thunderstorm and rain in the morning. We had an outdoor event. Everything had been set up, Festival of India was here, tents were supposed to be out, decorators were to come, and everybody in the congregation was anxious. You just could not be anxious. Everybody was tense, everybody was worried, and Pyare Prabhu said something to the effect, "We'll be fine." And then I'm like, okay, now, he's promised some or other Krishna has to handle it and handle Indra also. So this is just one of Lord's ways, because this increases our attachment and love for the Lord. When the child is running fever, we feel that intense parental affection. You know, we find it very hard to, you know, see the child suffering, and this is just Lord's way of making us go deeper in our attachment for him. So everybody in Eka Chakra asked, Nitai, how do you know about these pastimes? You are such a small boy. We haven't even read these to you. And he just gave like a uncanny smile and he said, these are my pastimes. You know, like, these are my pastimes. But of course, you know, none of them knew that this is Lord Balram himself. So Nitai was contemplating that my mother Padmavati Devi and my father Hriday Pandit, they have so much love and such deep attachment for me. How will they ever let go of me? Because he knew that he had appeared for a very specific purpose, to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Sankirtan mission. So how am I going to leave? You know? And I remember this class which was being jointly given by Devamrit Maharaj and Radhanath Swami, where Radhanath Maharaj is saying that pick up your favorite child, you know, which by default will be your own child. Whatever love you have for them, multiply that million, billion, trillion, quadrillion times, thousands of times, and Padmavati Devi and Hriday Pandit loved Nityanand much more than that. So it really is unimaginable for us, you know, how much they loved him. So Lord Nityanand, you know, again in one of his leelas, he orchestrated, you know, a situation or an event which would enable him to leave home. There was a traveling sannyasi, and he came to Eka Chakra, and you know, as cultured grahasthas, Mother Padmavati and Hriday Pandit, they invited this Brahman to their home, and all night the three of them discussed Krishna Katha and Hari Katha. And in the morning, with very sincere gratitude, it's, you know, like, okay, well, how can we serve you? You know, sometimes I've seen we use this line so casually, okay, how can you serve you? No way, okay, thank you so much. You know, my duty was to ask you, your duty was to say, no, I'm done. You know, ho gaya. Kuch lenge? Nahi? Oh, very good. Not like that. With very sincere gratitude, how can we serve you? You know, and that Brahman, that sannyasi, in return asked for their son Nitai. He said, I'm a traveling person, I travel alone. It will be nice if I have one assistant with me. And you know, this is Vasudev and Rohini. They are not ordinary people. So, you know, they had so much love. And again, out of culture, Hriday Pandit goes and asks Padmavati Devi. He had already promised, you know, that whatever you want, I'll give you. And at that, when this sannyasi asked for Nitai, Hriday Pandit was thinking, now I can imagine what was the pain that Dashrath Maharaj felt when he had to separate from his son, feel the separation from his son. And Padmavati Devi, like any nice, humble, chaste wife, unlike some of us, she said, whatever is your wish is okay with me, my lord. Whatever you wish is what we will do. So you can decide. And you know, word is the honor. They live by that. He had promised. So Nitai had to leave with this sannyasi. And when he left through the door, both Hriday Pandit and Mother Padmavati, they became unconscious. They dropped on the floor.
How old was Nitai that time?
12 years old. Nitai was 12 years old that time. How old are you, Janvi? 13. Sai and Vikesh? 14. 12. Okay. So Nitai was 12 years old. Now again you have to imagine, now you're talking of 1400 something. So there are no aeroplanes, there are no trains. Wherever you have to go, you have to pretty much walk. You know, there are horse carriages and bulls, but this is a traveling sannyasi. You think he has a horse ride and a carriage with him? And you live on madhukari. Whatever is donated, you eat that. And it's not that, you know, there's going to be I-95, I-84, I-91 south that will take you to Albany and New York City and Stamford, you know. If you have to go through forests which have wild animals, snakes, and, you know, all sorts of dangers. So, but the parents were thinking, how will he go? How will he manage? But they had promised. So he left. When I was hearing Radhanath Maharaj explain this pastime, I was thinking to myself, you know, sometimes it's so hard for us to donate Lakshmi. And I'm not, you know, talking about anybody else, I'm talking about myself. You know, giving donation, you know, a $250 purse, I need it. It's absolutely fine. If I don't get it, I probably won't survive. You know, all those fancy brands, what Coach and MK and Dolce Gabbana. Like, you know, I go to office in Stamford and it gets influenced by New York City very heavily. So I see all these fancy, you know, brands on the table, and I have like old cloth bag, you know, sitting next to me. But, you know, I'm fine. I really don't care about purses. But, you know, a dress or vessels, you know, Anand Gauranga really gets worried when I go to Whole Foods because he says, there goes my whole paycheck, you know. Okay, I'm not into purses, but, you know, if I go into Williams Sonoma or a kitchen store, I really need that pot. And if I don't get that gadget and that specific bread machine, I don't think I can offer anything to Krishna. So, you know, we all have our, and for those, we will justify any kind of expense. But when we have to make donation to the temple, even $100 feels, you know. And here was this couple, you know, who waited so long for a child, and they gave him to the sannyasi. And there's no text messaging, no WhatsApp, no emails, no postcards. There's no postal system around this time. So it pretty much meant that they will not learn about Nitai again ever. So it's like, okay, go for a sabbatical, you know, or a sacrament, and then come back in 2 years. Yeah, we'll see you at next Kumbh Mela or in Vrindavan, you know, we'll you know, run into each other sometime. No, Nitai was gone. Actually, and it, you know, again, personality, he walked out so detached, he didn't even turn back. You know, unlike those Bollywood movies, you know, you have to turn around kind of a no, he didn't even turn back. He just walked and he left. So they were unconscious on the floor, and the villagers came. They woke up and they cried and they cried and they cried, and they became unconscious again, and they cried and they cried and they cried. And every time they came back to consciousness, the only word they could say was Nitai, Nitai, Nitai. They were just sighing out Nitai's name. And villagers, everybody, every citizen in Eka Chakra had so much love for Nitai. They are like, I mean, how could you? We'll send our son. We'll give our child. We'll get Nitai back. And they started running in the direction where in which the sannyasi had left with Nitai, but they were long gone. Again, one important point to understand here is he was 12 years old, and for 20 years Nitai traveled around, and for a considerable time he was in Vrindavan. He had orchestrated this whole situation and event so that he could assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Sankirtan mission. But he did not take any initiative or anything in his charge till he received the instructions and the blessings from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he wanted to get blessings from him, and whatever he did, he wanted to give glory of that to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he waited till he got the specific instructions. So at one specific time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Nityanand Prabhu and Srila Haridas Thakur that you both should go out and preach and tell people, take the name of Krishna, worship Krishna, live by the teachings of Krishna, make Krishna your life and soul. And that's when he became the biggest general in the Sankirtan army. And he decided to preach like nobody had ever preached before. So, we had talked earlier that Lord Balram, he killed Romaharshana Suta with the blade of grass. So, Lord Nityanand, he would go out in the street and beg people to take names of Krishna. And instead of killing people with the blade of grass, he had a blade of grass between his teeth, which means he was in a very humble mood. He was like sincerely requesting people. Krishna says in chapter 16, Sar dharm pratyaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I shall protect you. Do not fear. So he's asking you for something. He's asking you to surrender. But Nityanand Prabhu, here, take it. It's free of cost. No charge. Nadiya Godume Nitya Nand Mahajan. He is merchant who is freely distributing Krishna Prema. Here, take it, take it, take it. There's no consideration of how qualified you are, how educated you are, what's your caste, what's your creed, which family do you come from, what's your background. All you need is faith. People who did not have faith, who wouldn't take up on his requesting, he would go down on the floor and request them to chant the names of Krishna. When people wouldn't chant the names of Krishna, even with Lord Nityanand on the floor, he would start rolling in the dust on the ground. Please take the names of Krishna. Please take the names of Krishna. And that's the same power with which Lord Balram was using the plow and the club. Lord Nityanand was requesting people to chant Krishna's name. So he knew that in this age, pretty much everybody's fallen. And again, this is not accusing anybody, So, out of all the yugas, Kali Yuga is the Iron Age. This is the age of hypocrisy, quarrel, degradation. I hate looking at newspapers, even financial newspapers. Just because, one look at it like, I just want to hide myself somewhere. It really is degradation. And the problem with Stanford and New York City, you come across all white collar crimes. There are demons in black suits and ties. But Acharyas say that this is the best age of all four ages. Why? Because Krishna Prema is so easily achievable by the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there were two very sinful, wretched people in Navadvip. Their names were Jagai and Madai. And I know, some of you might be thinking, last year also Amrit Keli said this class, so what, this again, so she's going to talk about Jagai and Madai and how sinful they were. But I have a clause or a disclaimer before I begin. Whoever hears this pastime with faith, attention and sincerity will be blessed by Lord Nityanand very shortly, and all their sins will be removed. So, that's your chance to sit up right now. So Jagai and Madai, they were so fallen, so wretched and so degraded that even if their shadow touched somebody, this person would go into the Ganges to purify himself. Even if their shadow touched somebody, people wouldn't go close to them. People would maintain very large distance from them. They were thieves, they were robbers, they were murderers, they were burglars, they were rapists. There wasn't a sin they hadn't committed. And they were so conditioned, so badly conditioned, that if there was nobody else that they could bother and fight with, they would start punching each other and pulling each other's hair. And they were siblings too. So, if you see the siblings fighting, that's how terrible they were. Really, really fallen. So Lord Nityanand thought, if I can make Jagai and Madhai into devotees, then the entire world will know the glories of my Lord Gauranga. So he approached them with Haridas Thakur, and people warned them and said, beware, don't go close to them. We are telling you. You shouldn't say later that we didn't tell you, we didn't warn you. They approached Jagai and Madhai, and Madhai came into the mood of killing them. And Lord Nityanand started running, and Haridas Thakur also started running. And there is some transcendental naughtiness going on there. Haridas Thakur is saying, you are intoxicated too with love of God. That's why you want to go next to those drunkards. You are a drunkard and they are also drunkards. That's why you want to get into them. And Nityanand Prabhu is telling them, when you were beaten in 22 marketplaces, you requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to forgive the people who were beating you. So you should request Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bless Jagai and Madhai as well. And Haridas Thakur goes, you do that, you do that. So they came back, and every night they would gather in the house of Srivas Thakur. And how the monthly book distribution report comes out from Ganpati Govind. I have to pick on him since he's sitting right here. So how the monthly book distribution report comes out, and we do the update here every month, and then the annual update. So similarly, every night Nityanand Prabhu would give the Sankirtan update to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We delivered these many souls today, these many devotees started chanting, these more, so. And somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that Jagai and Madhai made an attempt to kill Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. And he became very angry. He became very upset. He said, anybody who offends my devotees, I will kill them. I will kill them. They are so sinful, I'll kill them. And then Nityanand Prabhu said, my dear Lord,